Hey guys, how's it going? Zach Butler here. It's pretty late at night, but I've had requests to do an updated Salamangreat deck profile. I haven't played this deck too much lately. I've been working more on the other decks and projects on this channel, and like behind the scenes stuff, but I decided to put it together again. I'll probably do a remote dual local with this deck later on in the week or something like that, just to see how it goes. But I wanted to show you guys my current version of the deck. It's pretty similar to my last one, actually. I think it's almost identical, actually, but yeah, I'll just kind of go over it. I know I changed like a little bit of the hand trap lineup to combat the Numeron deck. And then with Rise of the Duelist, it'll change again a little bit more. So I'll just show you guys the deck. It's just the main and extra deck. I'm not going to bother with the side deck. That kind of depends on what you're expecting to play against. But yeah. So as always, we'll be doing this in contemporary card rules. So for starters, first you've got 3 Lady Debug. It's your best normal summon. Then you've got 2 Flame Buffalo. This is the best supplementary starter. I had considered Format Skipper again due to the Numeron deck, speeding things up. So then you have Numeron and Adamantipator, both which are very fast combo decks. But I ended up going with this just to have the consistency against the more like guru control style of like the grindier version of the Numeron deck. Then you've got 1 Gazelle, of course, 2 Foxy. This is mostly just because I want to see this enough and reuse its effect with Jaguar and stuff like that. I found myself using that a lot. 3 Signet Mining, of course, and then Circle as your last starter. So this gives you 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which is, I think, a 90% chance to open up with 1 or something like that. 80-something, 90%, I don't remember the exact math. But 12 was the lowest number that I felt comfortable with. The only thing I would really consider changing, perhaps, would be Buffalo for Skipper if I really was worried about like the Numeron decks taking off and them not having hand traps, but they generally can fit them in because the Numeron engine is so small. I know people have discussed cutting Debug for more Buffaloes because of Ogre being everywhere. I disagree with that entirely. Debug is the most consistent starter in the deck, and therefore I think it should always be maxed out on before you play any of the others. If you're really worried about Ogre and stuff like that, you can always side Called by the Grave, though I would not main deck it. So that's it for your starter cards. It's 12. For the superior extenders, you've got 3 Parallel Exceeds, and then 2 Jaguar, and then for the additional extenders, you've got 2 Spinny, and then Desires kind of falls in the middle of both of those card rolls. So you've got 10 extenders here, which is a little on the low side, but the deck is able to function because so many of the starters in Gazelle and Foxy are also extenders that you can get away with playing a lower number of extenders and a lower number of hard starters, which is one of the reasons why obviously I like the deck so much. So that's it for your extenders. For your defensive cards, 3 Ash Blossom. It's the only deck that I think 3 of this card is always mandatory. In other decks, I would actually arguably cut Ash Blossom. I think the card's pretty terrible right now. It's okay against the Halifibrax combo, but Ogre largely serves the same purpose as well as Veiler. And Ash Blossom just doesn't really have a lot of agency right now, so I would... If I wasn't playing Salad, I probably wouldn't play it outside of like decks that just need as many defensive cards as they can. Veiler, Ghost Ogre, and Snow Rabbit. This card gained a lot of viability thanks to the Numeron deck being a deck now, and it was already good against the Numeron, not the Numeron deck. The what is that deck called? The Halifibrax, like, Eldritch deck. It was decent in that matchup. It's actually just a pretty strong card overall. I'd rather see this than this most of the time, because at least Ogre gets rid of the problem. And then the last defensive card itself is 3 Impermanence. Same as Veiler. It's better than Ash with Ogre and Veiler like that. 12 gives you a really high chance to see 1. 14 is the highest number I would consider playing, just because then it gives you the highest chance of seeing 2, or at least 1, and without the diminishing returns of playing more. 1 and 1 of Rage and Roar. These are just not the best cards in the deck, honestly. Numeron and Adamantipator, Eldritch, all those decks can play around these cards very well, so these are easily the worst cards in the deck, and that's why we only play 1 and 1. The worst cards besides your engine requirement, of course. Then you've got 2 bombs in Will and Monster Reborn. So Will being so searchable is excellent, and it gets a little bit more agency thanks to Foxy and Adamantipator and things like that. But I decided to play a Reborn over the second one just so I had an additional bomb that punishes them for leaving good cards in the graveyard. And this just has plays that Will just, can't do. But then Will also has plays that Reborn can't do. So I just wanted to go with 1 and 1. That's pretty much it for those. And then your engine requirement and Sanctuary, of course, and Upstart Goblin just to put me at maximize my consistency. Salamangreat is a deck that I always want to play Upstart and 3 Desires in. Before I even fill out the rest of the deck, I'm literally starting with these 4 in my deck every time because I just want my deck to be as consistent as possible. For the extra deck, really quick, Abyss Dweller still, it's the best. Rank 4, Baguska, especially against Numeron. This card is so important now. If you go first, this is one of the only ways you can stop yourself from getting OTK'd. 3 Baylings, 3 Sunlight Wolf, of course, 2 Helio still. This card is alright. I don't know. Didn't really summon it. And then for the utilities, you've got Lingaribo. I still play this for the Eldritch deck and like Numeron Altergeist I've played against, and just like trap decks in general. Splash Mage, of course, for the random plays to go into Access Code Talker, Update Jammer for the OTK, Transcode Talker for the OTK, and Access Code Talker for the OTK. So that's it, guys. Nothing too much to say about the deck. It's pretty much the same as before. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please put them below, and like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks, guys.